Hello, I'm Guthrie. Today I'm going to gab about something that has been in the news. And if you are a teacher, it's something you should already be thinking about. If you're new to teaching, new to online teaching, it's definitely something that should be the forefront when you are planning your lessons. So, as an online teacher for an ESL group, I knew my target audience already. Asian children, specifically children in China. So I created my background that would be an appropriate background for them. Yeah, I can speak. It's late at night. I got one more class to get through. I can do this. Anyway, so knew my target audience. Picked t-shirts that made them feel comfortable, something that they could recognize, something that they could identify with. We made sure that we have props, right? That make them feel comfortable when they're looking at a picture. Hello, Lee. Okay. And Mom. So we look at that and we say that's important because it makes them feel that we understand them and they are comfortable with those pictures. They identify with those pictures. Even the rewards that we have, we think about the culture of a Chinese student. All right, now let's bring it home. You're switching companies. You're going to be teaching for Outschool or possibly one of the other groups that come up where you're teaching to parents that are booking you independently. If you work for Outschool, you are reaching students in over 120 different countries. You are reaching the world. Okay? So think about that. How can you cater to the needs of all those students? Well, let me go back and let me tell you a story that a dear friend of mine who I used to work with told me one time. I used to be a Head Start director, and she worked with me. And she was telling me about when she was a little girl growing up, the only dolls that she could find were little white dolls with blue eyes and blonde hair. Now, this friend of mine was gorgeous. Absolutely good. Most golden eyes, perfect skin, just beautiful. And she told me how she grew up feeling inadequate and her self-esteem was low, and she felt bad because that baby was beautiful. That was a beautiful doll, and her children would never look like that, and she would never look like that. Think about everything that people got upset about with Barbie because it was not like anything that we're going to see. And there's been a whole push about models not representing the real people. So as teachers, it's our obligation to make sure that what we show on the screen, in my opinion, reflects the students that we're teaching. If you're working for a company like Outschool, you're going to be reaching children in over 120 different countries. That's a lot of different looking kids. So I ask of you, pay attention and think about it. Whether you're using Google Slides or PowerPoint or Canva, take the extra time and search for children of different color. Search for children that have disabilities. Search for somebody that is using a wheelchair to include in your presentations, if you use presentations. Search for somebody that might have a hearing aid, wears glasses. Okay. Something, maybe an amputee. We don't know the possible students that we're reaching. And so, being as, of course, being correct, being polite, doing the right thing is at the forefront right now in the news in June of 2020. I was looking at creating a presentation, and I was doing it on teaching French. And so I wanted pictures to represent clothes. And then I had to have pictures to represent children wearing clothes. And I wanted children because I'm teaching to children. So I try to find children of the same age to use in my presentation. And let me tell you, never have I been so thankful that I took the extra time to search for those just right pictures as I was this morning. I had a class with 3 students in it. I had one child from England. I had 2 children from America. One child was Asian American, one was a Black American. I had 3 totally different looking children in my classroom. And I was so thankful that I had pictures on my slides that represented each one of those children. And so when they had to answer in the target language, I wear a t-shirt in summer, there was a picture of each one of them already in that lesson. So when we got to that page, they really could feel like it was them wearing that t-shirt. Je porte un t-shirt. I had no clue that my class was going to contain 3 completely different looking students. And I was so thankful. I hope that you are doing the same thing and taking the time to include all the children in your presentations and think about the culture of many children around the world as you start to teach for a company such as Outschool. It's different than you're going to be teaching in a brick and mortar classroom where you know the demographics of your school. You know the demographics of the students coming in. You have to think outside the box. We have to think for all children. And one of the great things about teaching is that we get to share the cultures of different people, and in a way we get to model the right way to think for students. And I'm not trying to brainwash anybody. I'm just saying, if I only taught with Asian props to American children in a classroom, I think many parents would think that was unfair. And so I ask you to please make sure that you are being fair to all the students that you see and have as you teach. If you have any comments, I hope they're positive ones. And if you have trouble finding images that will help reflect the students that you teach, make sure you write to the companies. They need to be aware that teachers are using these images and that we need images of all children of all abilities in order for us to do the best ability that we can do at teaching. Hope you have a great day. If you're interested in teaching and sharing this great journey with me, reach me, GuthrieGabs@gmail.com.